This is a survival program, the most authentic I've ever seen. 10 survival experts gather in the wild. They're only allowed to choose 10 tools among the limited tools. This unique survival challenge site is located in Patagonia, where they don't just have to build shelters, looking for food to survive, but also to guard against attacks from newspapers, lions and wild boars. The last survivor could win a $500,000 prize. Let's see who will be the final winner of this season. At 10 a.m., Jim was dropped into a deserted corner. After leaving the helicopter, he took a quick look and started to build a temporary shelter. I tied the rope between two trees, covered the blue tarpaulin. A simple shelter has been completed. Jim is a high school teacher, used to teach survival skills. You and your wife can't have children, so I've recently been in the process of adopting 3 dogs, a cost that is not small. I'm here to win an award. Create a good life for your children. After the shelter is built, Jim made a simple kitchen and started a fire. He scraped some cotton from the bark to make a fire. I hit him with flint a few times and the fire broke out. Then the blow lightly. I have to admit, this guy's got some talent. Then came the appearance of Britt, a 40-year-old black man. He has a lovely son named John. Every day I take my son to the forest, discover and feel nature. I can see that your father's love is strong. Passion for survival outside. Your nature, it has nothing to do with your accounting. But it's a great opportunity to test your skills. I found a shelter, hide near the water and set up camp. But walking around the area, I suddenly discovered a pile of cow bones. This is definitely the work of the cougar, predator species. It can kill prey many times its own size. Dare not to stay long. You keep watching. And found wild boar feces nearby. I think if I'm lucky, you can hunt a wild boar. There will be more food. This championship definitely belongs to him. He immediately set a trap and, after a long search, a giant dry tree appeared before my eyes. Looks like you can tonight rely on this tree to rest. Kelly appears with an underwater swim.
Nice.
After building a simple shelter, go around and find some trees. Bamboo to make a bamboo chair for yourself. Kelly's a very smart person back home. Self-cultivation and care of orchards. She entered a competition to practice her survival skills. After talking to her family, she decided to attend. At the river bank, Kelly's done the tripod of the bamboo chair and knit bamboo together. Complete a simple reclining chair. When the night falls, Britt hears strange sounds in the shelter and guesses that some animal has fallen into his trap. Despite the fear, I still don't want to miss the meat in front of me. Go outside and check that the rope is still intact. Where does the sound come from? I looked around but saw nothing. Risk concerns, so quickly go back to the shelter and go back to sleep. The third day of filming went to Jim. It's surrounded by cover and a triangular shelter. Made by you. You test its strength, then cover it with waterproof tarpaulin. Complete the simple shelter. Kelly hasn't eaten in a day. She threw the hook into the river and walked around. Fortunately, she found mushrooms and berries. When you go back and the hook moves, and she pulled up a fish that weighed about 2 pounds. After preliminary processing, she dropped the hook back into the water and soon, there's another big sturgeon with a hook. Kelly was far ahead of the competition. The third day, Jim sits alone in the shelter in the rain, complaining about missing his wife. I can't believe Jim pulled out his satellite phone. When the crew's little boat left, you became the first to be eliminated. Maybe it's because I can't bear to leave my wife home alone. There are only 9 people left. The man who looks like Mario. In front of him is Fuller. After 3 days, I built the shelter. Fuller has a happy family, with 2 lovely children and a loving wife. Your practical skills are very good. And join this challenge to win the prize. To improve family life. Today I decided to find a better camp. While on the road, I found a dry fallen tree, and thinking about how to set up camp, suddenly I saw a pile, bones scattered on the ground beside. The sight in front of me made me shiver. What? Because that means there could be jaguars around here. There's no other way. Fuller had to give up this ideal shelter. Right now, the most impressive player of the season appeared. He's a professional survival coach. with experience of surviving in the wild for a year in the winter, hunting fishing darts. Swimming is my thing. Join the challenge this time. They want to practice more survival skills and make some money to support the family. After saying goodbye to his family to the studio, wake up every morning with a cold shower for 2 hours to stay awake, and make some natural charcoal to clean your teeth. Because everyone knows, charcoal is a teeth cleaner. Effective in the environment. Wild after finishing, decided to find food. Go to the river and prepare to fish, because it's the best food source around. Take the bait and throw the stick into the water. I don't know if the fish are too hungry or if their skills are too good. And soon there was a fish bite. After simple processing, he brought the fish back to the shelter and quickly processed into fragrant grilled fish. I haven't eaten in for days. The chef immediately puts a piece of fish in his mouth. It feels like my soul has been lifted up. The 5th day of the challenge, Jack caught up early with a plan to get food. I went to the river to make a fishing tool and start by collecting a pile of bamboo. Jack's into the water. It's a big letter in the middle. Leave an entrance. The fish will get trapped inside. I even covered a tree's branches in a trap to prevent other animals from stealing fish. So a simple fish trap is done. Jack is a wilderness survival coach. At home, I have a beautiful girlfriend who is 8 years younger than me. I'm taking this challenge not just to test myself, but also for the $500,000 prize. Prepare for life after marriage. After talking to family, I decided to enter the contest this time. Complete the fish trap. Jack is going for a walk in the woods to find more food. Instead of seeing food, I came across a pile of fresh shit. I looked closely and determined it was a cougar. Fearsome predators with the ability to hide and strike at any time. Think about the distance from there to camp. Only 3 steps away, and Jack was choking on the tension. I dare not miss any nose. The 6th day of the challenge, Brick shows up early to clean himself. The shelter of Brick. I can't use the word barbecue to describe it anymore. The wind is blowing. Winter is not warm. Summer is not cool. Brick takes a piece of wood to deal with the water hole on the shelter roof. I can't believe you just need a little peek. That's smart. If we don't fix the shelter early, Brick will have to go home soon. The scene goes to Megan. She accidentally slipped her foot into the mud while walking. Fortunately, there are branches nearby to hang on to, so you narrowly escaped. Megan's a biologist, ranger with nearly 5 years of experience. Have 2 lovely children. It's not difficult for you to survive in the wild. Objectives: join the challenge to win the bonus. She continued along the river, and not far away, we found bushes of wild berries that had a lot of vitamins. To prepare for the coming harsh winter, Megan decided to pick up a little more room when needed. Even if there is no other food, you can still hold on to these wild berries. The next player is Greg. After waking up, he adjusted his hair and added wood to the campfire. Holding a small stick of charcoal, he stuck in his nose. I thought I was hungry and stupid. Turns out Greg's using it to pluck his nose hair. I have to say this guy is special. Greg is a logger with 37 years of experience. You are single, so you don't have to worry about anything. Only girls. It's the biggest motivation in his life. Join the challenge. I just want my daughter to have a better life. He immediately set his target on a nearby river. Just dropped the fishing rod. It's not long before I caught a relatively large fish. After cleaning the fish by the river, I went back to the camp to get the dried moss, make a comfortable bed, and grill the fish over a charcoal fire and eat it well. Fish meat tastes like chicken and provide a lot of power. After eating, you bring your bag out. It seems that the amount of protein, it's not enough to sustain energy. So when we found the boar's footprints, he decided to put a simple trap around the area. The 6th day of the challenge, Jack happily ran to the river to check the fish trap. But I don't see any fish. It makes me disappointed to sit there. Jack hasn't had a decent meal in 6 days. That the harsh winter in Patagonia is coming. You need to improve your shelter quickly. The forest is a good choice. He collected a large bundle and divided it into several trips to take it back to camp. Complicated terrain and a hungry stomach. It makes me feel bad. It takes more than 2 hours to ship. And finally I'm tired of sitting down. Maybe I was thinking about giving up. On Megan's side, there's no food today but some berries. To line her belly, prepare a fish trap. Tie the fishing line to a small tree with good elasticity. As long as the fish bites, the rope will pop up and hold the prey to increase the success rate. She made some more of the same traps. How effective it is remains to be seen. The challenge is to move on to day 8. Jack woke up hungry. Instead of getting food, I decided to continue the unfinished business by digging in some bamboo into a triangle on the ground, and then they're stacked to form a wall so that the heat from the fire will reflect back to the shelter. I have to go find more dense forest with bushes obstructing the footsteps. I just went and cleaned the tree with a knife. We finally reached the forest, but suddenly slipped and fell. The axe's blade cut into his hand, causing a large wound. Back at camp, he quickly picked up the first aid kit. Wipe the wound and blame yourself. Even though I don't want to give up, the current situation makes Jack feeling desperate. The condition of his arm is really not optimistic. He finally had to call for help. When the program team arrives, Jack is still blaming himself. After examining the wound, the paramedic said the wound needed stitching. There's also foreign invaders. You need to go to the hospital to avoid infection. When Jack left, out of 10 contestants, there are only 8. The 9th day begins on the field with 8 remaining. After taking a sip of warm water, Cully plans to build a permanent shelter, because being in a tent can't be a long-term solution. On the 5th day, she built the main frame of the tent roof. To the 6th day, finished combing the waterproof cloth. The current task is to use bamboo to build a windshield on both sides. Make sure to avoid cold winds at night. After erecting strong bamboo frames on both sides, the space between them is filled with dried bamboo leaves to provide insulation. The other side does the same. When the material is stacked in order, the shadow of shelter in the wilderness gradually appear in the deep forest. On the Brit side, since catching a fish yesterday, he was so excited this morning, dancing non-stop. Back to the present. I went fishing by the river again, dilled a wooden plank, and used yesterday's fish as bait, and threw the fishing rod in the water hoping to have a good meal today. In the meantime, you don't sit still, but put some fishing lines in other places. In less than a moment the line move. When you pull it up, look at the sky. A fat red fish struggling. It doesn't stop there. There's another one biting. And then the third one. This luck really can't say more. If you buy a lottery ticket, you must win the third prize. Less than half an hour left, the house caught 3 fish. Everyone looks jealous. It seems like his luck has peaked. Immediately cut off the head of the fish with a knife and clean it. Make sure you're not hungry for the next 3 days. 9th player named Jan. Probably the most lazy contestant this season. He thinks he just needs to find food. It can last a long time. So from the beginning until now, he hasn't built a shelter yet. At home, Jan is considered a wildlife enthusiast. His room also shows this passion, that he's definitely good at hunting in the forest. Even large animal specimens that he's collected. Living in the wild is his only hobby. Every time I go to the forest, I feel like I'm coming home. To improve family life, I have specially registered for the contest this time, but it hasn't been eaten until now. As the night falls, Britt was glad that the hook was moving again. Pull up to see if you catch a 5-pound redfish. The fish from the day before had not been eaten, so I decided to preserve the rest. I found a small pond next to the camp. Seal the exit and put all the fish meat in. Then use some cover and put a big rock on top of it. The water temperature here is quite low, so the fish won't spoil. At least 3 to 5 days. Day 11. Callie plans to build a fireplace for his shelter. She went to the river and carried some big rocks back to camp. Then use bamboo to seal the 2 sides of the gap, and then you put the stones in a circle. It takes a few hours. Callie finally finished the construction. It helps to avoid cold at night. It is convenient for cooking. Not seen for a few days. Fuller's built a small covered road in front of his house. The road is clean. It makes everyone look comfortable. Must admit that his manual work skills are really good. The final contestant was named Carla. Right from the 5th day, you've built the foundations of the shelter. Plans to build a dome shelter in his native Alaska. Carla is an architect who's very skilled at survival. Best at building shelters and knitting. Long outdoor life. Long has trained for her resilience. Before the competition, she trained herself for 3 months. I'd say a real warrior. With the support of her husband, she's determined to win the $500,000 prize. Then I came back. After finishing the foundation, the next step is to build a roof. To ensure safety, you stood on the price. Temporary support to check the stability of the structure. And then she found more than 20 slender and pliable pine branches, knit into a spiral frame along the rafters, forming the dome structure. Finally, she covered the roof with a thick layer of bark. Use vines to fix the edge to the frame. I thought the shelter would be solid, but when you adjust the structure, inside, the roof is amazing. Fall down. Tired of her not speaking, this sudden event made her lose confidence in her abilities. About Jan. I get up early and drink some warm water. Think simple and start working today. There was no meat for days. I'm hungry and crazy. Go to the river and check the fishing traps you have set. It's amazing to see the hook moving from the river. But, unfortunately, the distance is too far. Stick forever without losing. Meat coming to the mouth can't be caught. I'm so sorry. He immediately took off his clothes. Without a word, jump into the water, take a deep breath and dive in. When it comes to the surface, I have a small fish in my hand. He processed the organs on the spot and returned to the camp. Start enjoying it in a delicious way. Don't look at this insignificant little fish. With Jan. This is my hope to keep you going. Because your wild mansion is finally about to be finished. Callie happily danced outside the stove and the wall was about to be built. The inside of the house is fully equipped. Has a clothes rack and a comfortable soft single bed. Callie immediately packed up her luggage. We will officially move into a new house today. As the night falls with the flames blazing, the whole shelter became very cozy. The 17th day has arrived. Fuller's practicing slingshot. I can't believe I hurt my hands. Return to the camp in a hurry to boil a pot of water. At that time you spotted a wild duck on the lake in the distance. Meat brought to the door. I don't want to miss. He immediately took the rubber band and shot it. I think I hit a duck, but we didn't have time to be happy, and the duck came out of the water. Turns out, even the duck feathers didn't hit. This infuriated Fuller. The babe sighed. I don't know what's so funny in the morning that I can't close my mouth. I looked at the meat soup and the shark couldn't eat it. The kitchen is filled with happiness. Go out for a little activity. I'm going to make a big gate for the camp today. You collect some free dry bamboo. Measure the size and tie it into a triangular structure. Then use bamboo to fix the outside with tripods. Put it in the camp and see. Not just cover discreetly, it's also very fun to automatically close the door. This feeling of success made Babe smile even more. I have to say that as a woman, Megan's grace is still evident. With a small knife, finished processing hairy bushy legs. Immediately to the river. Check your fishing gear. I can't believe there's fish on the hook. But when you pull on the line, you're stuck in a tree. The meat is coming, so we can't let it go. Megan immediately took off her clothes. Turn yourself into the cold water. With a sharp dive as she resurfaced. In my hands is nothing but water. You don't pay attention to the terrain. Hand fishing skills still need more practice. When the night falls, no added protein. I drink more boiling water tonight to fool my stomach. The 11th day arrived. With Greg, he collected some leaves from an unknown tree to make a pot of hot tea in hopes of seating the belly. Maybe because it's cold these days. The fishing line didn't catch any. So Greg decided to go up the mountain, check the previous wild boar trap. However, the surprise is that the trap has been activated, but there's still no pig hair in it. While the set bait is gone, Fortunately, I had a camera, side by side and by video, monitoring. I can't believe a fox has stolen his prey. This makes Greg angry. If you can't catch a wild boar, I decided to hunt foxes and have to figure out how to teach it a lesson. Fowler's turn. I sat by the lake thinking for half an hour. I can't forget the duck. Under the lake he picked up a natural wood plank by the shore. Use a saw to cut a gap in the middle. And then turn over to more boards. Same size and grinding middle slot. And then fix the 3 intersecting boards to form a propeller. Finally, he stuck 2 wooden sticks to the tail of the board and tied the bark to it. Just twist the rope above and let go. Seconds later, the thrust will push the device forward. There's no denying that Fowler is smart. Now there's only real testing left. I'm going to build a pier. By cutting some solid wood and fix them tightly to the shore, we quickly built a solid bridge. To increase the success rate, I even added 2 stones to the board. The bait is replaced by a fish head that you regret not eating. As long as the hungry duck swims, the line will drop and the stone will fall into the water. Pull the prey down and drown. After the preparation is done, Fowler lies on his stomach on the pier and pushes the device out. Wait until it moves a little bit and then pull the switch. The propeller starts spinning and slowly puts the device out between the tiger. I have to say that his craftsmanship is really cool. It's a shame we didn't catch the bait this time. After waiting all morning, Fowler found his device upside down. There's something strange hanging next to it. Excited to pull up to the shore, I found out it was not a wild duck. It's a valuable fish. Fortunately, not empty-handed. You put a duck trap in the water. I hope tomorrow will be successful. It's Brit's turn. Maybe it's too cold to go to the bathroom. I installed a pee device in the tent. Every time you're done, urine will flow along the wooden pile out. That's brilliant. Up to this point, Brit hasn't eaten meat in 8 days. To fill my belly, I decided to go up the mountain and look for, even if it only absorbs a few calories, enough to last another day. As I was walking, I came across 2 precious wild mushrooms. Wild beef mushroom. I don't know how many times more protein than beef. Hurry and pack it. Not long after, I found a patch of grass growing full of soil. I didn't say pick it up and eat it. It's hard to eat, but it also provides some energy. It's not good to eat grass because you can't catch fish. Brit turns to small animals. You put a noose trap in their path. I hope there's some food tomorrow night. The 20th day is fast approaching. Megan checks the fish traps as usual. I can't believe I need the second one. She's so excited she dances her hands and feet. Hurry to pull up. It turned out to be a big, 6-pound fish. When finished, she immediately started a cooking fire right by the lake. If you taste a piece, the delicious taste spreads. Right characteristic taste. Fast forward to the 23rd day. Even though there's nothing to eat here, Jack is sitting by the fire. Decided to continue dealing with the foxes. Remain where the previous trap was placed. He built a big stick, and then use a small branch to make a narrow passage. Put the bait in. Then set up a simple activation mechanism. If the fox goes by, the big tree fell. Will surely crush it into a meat pie. But the next day, the bait is still taken away without a trap. Jack didn't give up. The next day, try again. This time the activation mechanism is more sensitive. He's sure to catch it. However, for nights the fox was not trapped. It's true that wild foxes are cunning. He seems to know this is his trap. By the morning of the 31st day the trap was empty. When did the bait disappear? Looking at the doggy foxes in the surveillance camera, Jack was extremely disappointed. It seems that catching wild foxes is not easy. The 34th day left 8 people in the competition. Brit looked melancholy and went to check his trap. I can't believe the trap was broken before. The rabbit bit off the fishing line and escaped. Unfortunately, he found some dry wood and went back to camp. The next day, Brit still crouched in the shelter by the fire. Prolonged loneliness and hunger makes me start to miss home. Finally, after thinking about it, I called the organizers. As the small boat slowly approached, Britt regretfully left the competition. On the 35th day, there are 7 contestants. Early in the morning, Fowler drank a large bowl of fish soup. The spirit must be refreshed. Look at the snow on the mountain in the distance. I have a hunch that a harsh winter is coming. If we don't build a solid shelter, I'm afraid it will be hard to get through next month. When I'm done, I take the bamboo out of the camp. On the 21st day, I found a good place. Now dig a hole in the kitchen and wrap it around the outside with bamboo. Continue to pile up each layer of bamboo to resist the cold wind. He clamped 2 more layers of bamboo outside, between layers filled with dry bamboo leaves. It blocks the wind and keeps the heat. By noon, Fowler had completed 2 of 3 tasks. I'm tired, so stop and rest. While collecting bamboo in the west, a new series of excavated soul traces appear before our eyes. He watched the wild boar's footprints scattered beside him. From deep in the bushes, vaguely echoing a scraping sound, the opportunity to hunt a forest sloth is emerging. Fowler started digging with a shovel, digging down the path of the forest animals about 2 meters. Precise trap depth control at 1.2 meters. Pointed bamboo rods are plugged down. Use bamboo leaves to camouflage. Finally covered in a layer of humus to hide. After completing the first trap, you're building a second layer of sand traps 5 meters away. The pointed cover is fixed on the top of the triangular holder. Rope through the pulley forming the lever. Trigger mechanism by hiding in a pile of dry leaves. A simple touch leads to a chain of death traps. When the sun goes down, the 2 intricately designed traps were completely hidden among the vegetation. We hope to catch the prey. On Greg's site early in the morning, he collected some wood. Sitting by the fire, I think of my empty trap. Even if you are angry, you still have to eat in the wild. To the river bank. After observing the water, I only see a few tiny little fish left. I remember going to bed hungry a few days ago. If you keep going like this, it's hard to survive. So he decided to build a wooden raft to try your luck by the small river on the opposite bank. When you're done, grab a saw and get busy. First chisel grooves on the trunk with narrow upper part, wide lower part, and then move all the wood to the river bank and tie it up. Repeated inspection to make sure. He carefully climbed on the raft at the raft. Stable floating. That's a high-tech guy. On the Carla side, she's collecting wood. When returning to a new shelter, I found a hole in the roof. Has been covered with waterproof cloth. Although it doesn't look very good, that the inside is still comfortable. Rarely had a good night's sleep, and this guy's excited to sleep outside. Watch the stars with a sleeping bag. But not for long. From the bush came the roar of the wild beast. Looking at the moon, the animal's blue eyes were staring at the uninvited guest. Some people have been afraid of flying for a long time, but Carla closed her eyes pretending to sleep, no matter the danger right next to you. The 37th day has arrived. Dave woke up looking 50 years old. The long lack of meat made him very upset. After temporary negative mental stability, he took the fishing line to the river to try his luck, even though you can pick some flowers every day. But protein deficiency is still a big problem. It's regulated by the production nest not to hunt local rodents. You just have to focus on fishing. However, I stood by the river for 3 hours. The result is still empty-handed. This makes Spave mad. Greg sat by the fire thinking for a moment. He decided to reinforce his makeshift wooden raft. Long-term protein deficiency. So moving the log takes a lot of energy. Then I went to the river. Use a rope to tie the logs together. Fortunately, it improved a lot this time. Not long after, he successfully crossed the lake. Maybe it's because there's more on the other side of the aquarium. So you drop the hook at random. Fortunately, it wasn't long before a big fish caught a hook. Weighs at least 5 pounds. He quickly cleaned the fish offal by the lake. Then back to the shelter, to where Jen looked like he was starving to death. I cleaned up and went out. But the first target is not to get food. It's going to the forest looking for wood. It's hard to understand. After returning, he decided to go to the river to try fishing to replenish energy. It wasn't long before this lucky guy caught a fish. Glad to hug the fish back to the shelter. Must be hungry too. By the time he got to the kitchen, he was hungry. To catch the big fish, he tied the hook to a wooden stick. Using feathers picked up as fake bait, he took his tools out to the lake and threw fish for 3 hours. Finally, before dark, you can also hear the water. Let's look at the big fish with 2 hands. What's more surprising is that there are fresh fish eggs in the belly. Dave did not hesitate to eat raw caviar. Crispy, tastes like chicken. Until the 39th day. There are only 7 people left. Fowler came to check the wild boar trap. The inside was eaten without catching any. Not even a single strand of pig hair. Fowler was so disappointed that he went hungry again. Even if the body is weak, I've decided to keep building my wild house. Sorry to choose the location too high. Every trip takes a lot of energy. There was no protein. But I still don't rest. Persistence knitting fence high. After the surrounding wall is basically finished, sitting by the fire, he decided to build his own weapon. Not long after I finished. It's hard to believe you're so clever. To the 43rd day of visiting Callie's shelter. This place was soon filled with the air of enjoying life. With a short drying rack, shelf for firewood, comfortable warm single bed, cooking heater, tiled floor, moisture and small items made of animal bones. Outside the door, I have to admit that Callie knows how to live well, even though the food problem hasn't been solved yet. But everything is neat and tidy. Callie is going to make a private sauna. Quickly plugs a bamboo ring into the ground. Cross-tie together, and then it's covered in waterproof tarpaulin as a dome. To prevent the heated ice meets the cold from exploding, carefully erect a bamboo fence in front. And then Moss makes a little path outside. Callie rests on the couch in front of the door. Until the night falls, Callie dropped the red stone inside. Then take off all your clothes. And went into my steam room. Enjoy the feeling of steam. It's amazing in the middle of this forest. It's the 45th day, and there are 7 contestants on the island. The frozen leaves showed that the weather was cold. Early morning, Callie cooks a pot of hot water with old socks. Not to eat. It's the best disinfection in the wild. Callie's mood has not changed so far. It's just a spider bite a few days ago on the butt. It's a matter of the wound being infected. If I have to give up on this, Callie will be very upset. So Callie decided to look for herbs around the camp. After a long search, she found a dust. According to previous knowledge, Callie knows this herb works to reduce inflammation. Good pain relief. She even picked some lichens back to the camp. Crushed tan mixed into a paste. Callie takes off her pants. Apply gauze and bandages to the wound. I hope it will be better tomorrow morning. On the 46th day, Dave back to the river fishing. I like fishing as a hobby. After waiting for half an hour, there was a fish. Dragged the fish to shore. I thought I would enjoy a delicious fish meal, but I found out it's a male. Don't want to waste great protein sources. You eat raw. I went to the kitchen and decided to smoke the fish. For long-term preservation. Eat a little every day to maintain energy. Over there, Greg's sitting in the sun. Because the camp itself is quite shady, so to keep warm, you keep collecting wood, accidentally consuming a lot of calories. The commute between the camp and the wood collecting area also exhausted him. Greg plans to move camp when the weather gets better. Go to the lake to check for traps. I saw the fish got caught, but the rope got stuck. I don't want to lose my precious protein. Greg wading into the cold water catching fish, but on the way back, he slipped and fell into the water. Fortunately, the fish is still there. But it was freezing cold, so I quickly returned to camp. Take off your wet clothes and hang out by the fire. Hope the warmth dispels the cold. On Collie's side, you just woke up, hurry to check your wound, and found that the herb seemed to work. The inflammation is better than before. After a brief cleanup of the shelter, people thought you were out looking for food. But Collie brought back a log, ready to make a guitar. For you, Joe, is the most important thing. She used burning charcoal to make a groove on the wood. And then with a sharp knife. And quickly made some crossbars. Fasten the fishing line and it's done. You can't wait to break a song that sounds good. At night, Collie couldn't sleep. Maybe it's a lack of protein that weakens the immune system. The spider bite hurts. Collie thinks her glands are infected. If not treated in time, it is life-threatening. She tried to endure through a long night. The next morning the situation seemed better. But I couldn't sleep all night. The pain was so persistent that Collie thought about giving up. Jan, on the other hand, has a relaxed life, day by day picking wood or checking his fish traps. Lucky to smile when you catch a big fish. Without hesitation, bring it back to the camp. After many days of eating grass, I gradually forgot the taste of fish. After eating, he went to the lake to set traps for more fish. Carla leaving the shelter, carrying homemade fishing rods and baits that were previously dubbed worms. The throws need to be mastered. Prove you're a good fisherman. From the 28th day, Carla tried to trap fish by folding stones into rectangles. There's only one entrance. If the fish gets in, they can't get out. Until the 36th day, she put a wicker basket at the entrance. There's an insect bait inside, but both traps failed. Carla now has only one way to bring the fishing rod to the lake to try her luck. There are fish that bite from noon to afternoon, but it disappeared because the fish struggled to escape. Day 48. Carla lies dead outside the shelter, but don't give up and go to the lake. Maybe your determination has been answered by heaven. When the fishing pole quickly fluttered, Carla quickly pulled up and caught a big fish. Clean the abdomen on the spot and bring it back to the cooking camp. It's a great protein shake that makes you happy. Greg decided to leave the camp because the persistent rain had exhausted the surrounding wood. I had to find more wood to spend the night. Keep the fire in the iron pot and despite the rain to the other shore, you light a big fire, shielded with waterproof cloth. Then go back and pack your bags. Officially arrived at a new shelter with a plentiful supply of firewood for daily use. But the night comes. Greg's joke quickly dissolves. When we discovered the surrounding lake, the water has quietly risen. The lake is about to engulf its fire. There's no other way. I can't seem to sleep tonight. When the time comes to the 50th day, Jen sits in camp with anxiety. It's very boring. For him, it seems every moment. It's all a waste of time. Thinking about joining the program for the $500,000 prize. But I still feel too young in the end. The loneliness here will gradually change the psychology of ordinary people. It makes the feeling of loss even bigger. The prize is no longer important. I just look forward to going home to meet my family. Sitting in a meditation camp for half an hour, he finally pulled out his phone. A small yacht speeding across the lake. Facing the camera, he doesn't blame anything. Maybe this is the cruelties of the wild. Your own will. It's absolutely impossible to resist destruction. I finally packed my luggage, with regret leaving the competition. Until the 64th day, the entire playing area was covered in snow. Fowler opened the door to the snow-covered scene, excited to go around the camp and check out the fish trap. The snow is hard to hunt, so today I decided to rest. There's a snowman at the door, and then we put a fish head up for decoration. This guy really knows how to kill time. I've been shooting at snowmen again, even if it's fun to kill time. But in front of such a beautiful scene, I think of my wife. Not from sadness. Dave just woke up and said something to the camera, and get up and sharpen some sawdust to start a fire. Take out the water bottle and draw water. Watching the world covered in snow and ice, Dave was as excited to dance as Fowler. Although winter brings a pleasant feeling, but it's also made it less and less likely to find food. I took my fishing gear out to the lake to try my luck, but that weather makes the fish lazy. Prolonged hunger makes me feel weak. After drinking water, go back to camp. I decided to drink some tea for the day. Kali's sighed. I've been bitten in the ass by a spider. But she persisted in the most steady manner. She watched the snow on the small river bank. Throw some snow at the audience. On the way home, I cleaned up. Relaxation helps you be more stable in the competition. Then she went back to camp. Gather around a warm fire and don't go out. The 66th day, they felt uncomfortable again. But I don't know exactly why. When you take off your shirt, you find that there are fewer muscles. Now there's only skin and bones. Weight loss of 20 pounds. The fat is almost gone. Now it's all about muscle breakdown. To get energy, I'm going to take my bow and arrow up the mountain hunting. But it's so weak that it can't pull the string. I tried many times to go back to sleep. Since the 49th, I've been fishing every day. But for the winter, I ate the fish for 3 days. The rest smoke dried for preservation. Now I have a small box full with more than 30 dried fish, enough to eat for more than a month if one per day. But I decided to save. Just eat one to last longer. I want to stay longer and win. I'm worried about my health. Make yourself a hot tea and try to survive. On the Carla side, I looked at the lake and saw the ducks. I think it would be nice to catch one. He said he made you use the rope as an ancient weapon, with the end of the rope throwing stones towards the target. But it was only recently that the ducks had flown away. Every time she remembers the dodgy fox, she gets angry. Many days without fishing, she switched to bird hunting, using reeds and wooden sticks as traditional traps. Knit it into a wall and tie it together, forming a rectangular trap. Then take out the berries. I regret not being able to eat as bait. I hope the bird catcher's cage is painstakingly built. This time will bring results. The time has come to the 68th day. Fowler's manual work never stops. He's sculpting a dragon stick right now. It's engraved with memories since we got here. Soon he was half sculpted. But it's not just in the afternoon. He's always making crafts to kill time. Maybe this is the only way to make you feel less homesick. As food becomes increasingly scarce, Megan has only one way to eat grass to fill her stomach. It can temporarily fill the stomach, but in the long run, the body will definitely have problems. In a mood full of hope, she checked the trap set yesterday. The results are not even close. It's amazing. The trap is still there, but the bait is gone. After a moment of helplessness, she rearranged the bird cage. Then we'll go up the mountain and check out the rabbit traps. Long-term lack of food. You just climbed the mountain. Was feeling exhausted. Come before the trap. From the rabbit fur that fell next to it, it's easy to spot. I must have caught a rabbit. Sorry I was a step late. It's been stolen by other animals for a long time. She secretly cursed that the fox definitely deserved to die. To avoid wasting too much energy, you go back to camp to rest. Kali's sighed. Good luck today. I caught a big fish in an instant. Right away. Treat the organs on sight. Fortunately, there's a large plaque in the fish's stomach. Energy-rich fish eggs. Back to camp. Kali quickly prepares all the ingredients. It's not just fresh fish meat and fish eggs. Besides, there are vegetables and wild mushrooms just picked. Looks like we're going to have a good meal today. To the 71st day. Can't help but admire. Megan still relies on the wild fruit to survive. I was going to go fishing, but I did too much not suitable for laying the grid. More. On the third day she tried and almost fell into the water, so Megan's going to build a fish racket. So even if you can fish, you don't have to go into the water. Then she went to the lakefront to check the fishing equipment. I don't know if God feels bad for you to eat grass. Just a few minutes. There was a big fish that bit the fish. She immediately uses a homemade racket to catch fish. Simply handle by the river and light a fire to cook the fish. Finally, I'm not hungry anymore. The time has come to the 72nd day. Suddenly a small boat appeared on the lake. Needless to say, I know. There's definitely a player who can't stand it. leaving the game. The surprise is that the person calling for help was Kali, the most comfortable person. Looking at the rescue team, she was very happy. At first I was going to persevere to the end, but as time goes by, Kali realized she took the award too seriously, accidentally missing many other important things. Of course, this result is not what you want, but Cowell certainly learned something from this competition. Time passed to the 73rd day. There are 4 players on the field. In the morning, the first thing Fowler does when he wakes up is cover the fire, so that it doesn't turn off and saves fuel. At night he used charcoal to cover the flames. Keep it burning all night. Go outside and pack up. The most important task today is to go fishing for easy heating by the seaside. Fowler set the fire, but after a while of trying, there are only flames that can't be ignited. Make you upset. Then he went to the homemade fishing trap to check it out. I just picked up the hook and saw a fish, but as soon as you pull it up, the fish falls. Unlucky enough to describe. There's no other way. I have to rearrange the fishing rods. Then we went back to camp and waited. Looks like we're going hungry tonight. On Megan's side, even though the face is still smiling, that the pale color of the face indicates fatigue. She also went to the beach to check the fishing traps. Much luckier than Fowler. I just caught a big fish. Quickly used stone to process organs. I went to check out the second trap and pulled up another fish. I was so lucky with 2 fish. But when I finished with the second one, the third trap is moving. It's unbelievable. In just a moment, she caught 3 fish. If your competitors were vegetarian, they'd be jealous. With these fish, food issues next week, yours is no longer worth worrying about. Both of the program medical team to the health check. Megan, in addition to losing weight, other body readings are normal. This good news makes you happy and confident in the next round. On the Babe side, I can see that your condition has seriously deteriorated, but I can't eat my dried fish. The blind hoarding of food. It makes your body weaker. Take your fishing gear to the lake. But due to the bad weather, I couldn't catch any fish. He returned to the camp with his body trembling. Every step is extremely difficult, even falling. Fortunately not injured. I walked step by step back to camp. I realized I couldn't take it anymore, so we had to take dried fish and cook a nutritious soup pot. Thanks to protein absorption, the body partially recovers. When the medical team comes to check, they found that his body mass index had dropped dramatically. Skinny back. Obviously, this situation can't continue. After discussion, the doctors decided to force Babe to lead the competition. Your body has reached its limit. If you continue to persist, the consequences will be catastrophic. Dave listened to the news with an unbelievable expression on his face. However, even if he eats all the fish meat right now, the body cannot recover to normal levels. Under the persistence of doctors, resilient people like Babe also shed tears of regret. Fasting, thirst. It's hard to store so much food. In the end, they ignore their own health. Who can accept this? Not knowing how to pack your luggage. With regret leaving the competition, the time has come to the 73rd day. There are only 3 players left on the field. Carly's turn. Whenever free, it's the homesickness that runs through my heart, so she decided to keep herself busy. She pulled to a rotten log, used scissors to form a circle, take out a piece of cowhide. This piece of skin you found while exploring the surrounding environment. You washed it. Dry water with a stick, and cut it into a circle and put it on top of the wood. Finally made a pretty good cowhide drum. Moving to Fowler. I couldn't catch anything to eat for a long time, so I turned my attention to the roots. He dug up a big handful with a shovel, but worrying about them. They are forever afraid to eat. I went to the lake to check the fish trap, but the rising water level has engulfed the pier. Carefully checked the fishing line. Unfortunately, no fish bite. To prevent the pier from being washed away by water, Fowler went up the mountain and cut down a big tree. Used the remaining power, pull the trunk to the shore of the lake and press it against the pier. To make sure it's heavy enough not to drift away, constantly expend physical strength. It makes me feel all worn out. If you can't get food early, maybe you'll be the next to give up. It's Megan's turn. She sat by the fire thinking, and he took an axe into the forest and cut down some branches. I thought to light a fire, Who'd have thought you'd knit them together and take the rope of the rainproof tarpaulin? Tie the wooden panels that have been woven into the tree. A comfortable hammock quickly completed. This person really knows how to enjoy. The time has come to the 75th day. Carly's cowhide drum is finished. Looks like it'll give you the motivation to keep going. Megan also started going up the mountain looking for food. I went around and found a wild mushroom. So hungry you put it in your mouth. I don't know if it's poisonous or not, but I have a stomach. Then she discovered another wild tree with fruit. After the harvest, I couldn't eat. Just put a few weeds in your mouth. That was too good. Back to camp, nothing to do. Megan started to enjoy wild berries, although the taste is good. But the grain inside is too much and hard. Afraid of biting hard will damage teeth. When I went to bed, Megan had a toothache. Open your mouth. I discovered that my teeth were broken. Looks like it's hard to sleep tonight. The time has come to the 76th day. The wind at the lake is very strong. Fowler came back to check the fishing equipment. I didn't expect to catch anything. I can't stand hunger. I decided to try eating the roots of the tree I dug before. To prevent poisoning, you bring the roots to a boil in water. 20 minutes later, taste a piece. It's true that this flavor already has food in it. I can't hold back my tears. The time has come to the 77th day. There are only 3 of the strongest on the field. The rain outside fell all night. Megan also had a toothache all night. I hear the rain outside. It makes your mood even worse. Not thinking about family, she got up and started knitting in the camp. Not long after she came to the river. Look at your looks. I don't know if I'm leaving the competition or not. Towards Carla. Now you're sitting in your shirt because your ass is skinny. Maybe you're the best hungry person in the competition. Every day, we only survive with a little vegetable soup to prevent weight from continuing to drop. Now she's eating twice as much grass as she used to. Carla said she used to think that just having grass to eat would make it through, but he seems to have overestimated himself. She brought the fishing pole to the lake again. I hope God gives me some meat. About Fowler. Due to too much weight loss, the corners of his eyes are full of wrinkles. I went to the lake to check the fishing rod and saw the rope moving and thought there were fish, but pull up nothing. So far, Fowler has lost more than 50 pounds. Right from the 73rd day health checkup, doctors have warned if the weight does not rise again, you will be forced to leave the competition. Even if you can't find food, Fowler still doesn't let himself be idle. Go to the mountains and make toes. Hungry, I was resting in the camp. Until the 78th day, a boat suddenly appeared on the lake. It turns out Megan can't take it anymore. Because severe toothache affects daily activities, plus the homesickness, you decided to lead the contest. Is a female contestant. Getting to the 78th day was a miracle. And this particular experience made her more mature. You will face a better life later. Baggage arrangement. Megan regrets leaving the contest. By the 80th day on the field, there were only 2 contestants left. On Fowler's side, he felt that he had lost a lot of weight. The body is just skin and bones. I remember when I first arrived, I was excited and nervous. The first place without sunlight, steep hills and mountains, so you can only try to improve conditions. From building shelters to building docks, making homemade traps and fishing boats. When the wild middle house is finished, Fowler really has the faith to survive. More than 50 days later. To not feel lonely when you're alone. I only know how to make crafts to kill time. To the next stage. Long-term food shortages and loneliness made him unable to suppress his sobbing. Tame throughout this journey. Only those who have experienced it can understand. Upon arrival at the shore, you're still putting the power train in the water again. Maybe this is the last drop, because Fowler's body has reached its limit. On the Carla side, she said she hadn't seen her family in 3 months. I miss them so much and the food. Think back when you first came here. You feel your whole life, just for this moment. From the tent, to the shelter dome she built herself. Every time you fail, you have to stay positive. But even when it comes to fishing cages, your luck is always worse than others. In order to survive, you can only harvest every day. Later she also relied on craft to distract her attention, and to always stay positive. so as not to be under pressure. On the morning of the 86th, while he was fast asleep, Carla heard the boat coming ashore. What she's most afraid of is the medical team coming in for a checkup. Because of your current situation, it's easy to be forced out of the competition. Of course, the medical team quickly arrived at her camp. After inspection, her weight has dropped 30% since she arrived. At the same time, Auler also started a medical checkup, up to 33% weight loss. But you're fat, so you still have 45 kilos. The other indicators of the two are quite similar. Finally, after the discussion, doctors decided to force Carla to leave the competition because of a health condition. Worse than hearing the news, Carla burst into tears. 86 days of hardship, only you know. Although the spirit is good, her body has reached its limit. For your safety, you have to leave. My biggest regret is not being able to win the prize. To improve conditions for the family. After packing your luggage, Carla left the competition. The time has come to the 87th day. Only Fowler is left on the field. Little snow begins to fall. You're still doing crafts in the camp and carve time on my stick. Suddenly I heard the boat approaching. The test didn't go well because yesterday's test wasn't completed. If there is a failure today, you will be eliminated from the competition. Even though I want to end, I don't want to be left hungry. I believe that with my will, 100 days is not a problem. During the test, I think of my child and remember his meek wife. The tear suddenly fell out of control. When Fowler was excitedly giving a speech, a silhouette of people quietly coming from behind. Fuller's wife hugged him from behind. I want to see the wife I miss day and night. Appeared before Fowler's eyes, embraced her with emotion. I realized I was the winner of this season. His wrinkled face flushed with excitement for a moment. After calming down, he began to introduce his wife to the stick he used to count. He took her on a tour of his camp. I collect all the crafts that I've made. Then you bring your luggage. The same $500,000 bonus.